Today I'm going to show you how to make these chicken enchilada stuffed bell peppers two ways. One with some carbs and another version that is low carb. My name's Amanda Dittlinger. Welcome to Dit Dot, and let's get cooking. All right, so to get these chicken enchilada bell peppers started, we are going to put some oil down in our skillet. I'm using avocado oil because that's usually what I'll use when I make a dish like this. And then we're going to add one sweet yellow or white onion that you chop up into fairly small pieces. I actually do want to get some color on this onion, so I'm going to have the heat up pretty high so that it kind of starts to caramelize. And I'm going to add some of my smoked salt. But if you don't have smoked salt, you can use regular salt. I like, sometimes when I'm doing Mexican type dishes, or Tex-Mex really, the smoked salt just gives it a really good flavor. I will link where I buy this from Amazon down below because it's one of my secret ingredients that I absolutely love to cook with. This one I think is applewood smoked salt. So while my onions are sauteing, I'm gonna go ahead and prep up some bell peppers. I chose orange today. They were on sale, and orange is a bright, cheerful color. I'm using 3 for my family of 4 today because my kids are only gonna eat half of one. And I'm gonna cut them lengthwise and kind of make little boats. And if you just reach your fingers in and pull, you'll get the seeds out. And then sometimes I will just kind of pull out some of the extra pith. And I'm just putting it on a small cookie sheet. This recipe obviously is really easy to scale up or down. So my husband has been doing a low carb diet. So what I'm gonna do tonight is actually cook this, and I will start it as one dish, and then I will take out some of it for his before I add some corn and beans, and then I'll continue cooking it for me and my girls because we're not doing low carb. But it's kind of fun to know that if you've got a family member that has dietary needs or special requirements, that there are ways to be flexible in your cooking where you only have to cook once and you're able to get, multiple types of food out of it, or meals. All right, so let me show you. I'm gonna go ahead and lower this because I'm getting quite a bit of color. That happened up pretty quick, and that's what I was looking for. So I got it now on low, and we're gonna add some garlic. So you can obviously use fresh garlic, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use up some of my squeezed garlic today. I go back and forth, depends on what mood I'm in. I've got a ton of garlic here, but I've kind of been, depending on what application, I've been relying on my squeezed garlic a lot lately too. Now, back to these. I have put my oven at 425 because I want to go ahead and get these started roasting. Just putting down a little bit of oil. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on them and pop them in the oven while we keep working on our filling. Okay, next up is some cream cheese, and I'm not really gonna measure because, measure cheese with your heart, people. So I'm just gonna put in a couple of good giant spoonfuls here, and I'm putting it in now so that way it's easy to kind of get it to melt into with the onions. So I'm gonna try to break it up and melt it in. And while that's happening, I'm gonna talk about my chicken. So I have a giant bag here of shredded chicken. I'm going to link a video down below of how I made this shredded chicken in my Instapot. It is my go-to method. And this last week I bought an entire package of chicken and I didn't pay attention to the cook by date. And it all needs to get cooked right away. So I just threw it all in my Instapot, got it shredded and cooked. I made chicken Alfredo, and later in the week, I'm gonna make a chicken salad sandwich. But this is the best shredded chicken. I'm gonna use about 2 cups of shredded chicken. There's other ingredients going into this too, so I don't want like a ton of the stuffing left over. That's what I tend to do. I always make way too much stuffing for things. And then it's fun because I get to like be creative with how I'm gonna use it. But today it's like, I just wanna make this for this one meal. I don't wanna be left with a bunch of stuffing. I always cook to the size of my skillet. That's the beeping from my Instapot. I'm making some rice to go with this dish for my girls and I. So I've got this can of mild green enchilada sauce. Originally, I thought I was gonna use red enchilada sauce, but this is what I have in my pantry, so that's what I'm gonna use. You'll find on my channel that I'm really all about flexible cooking, using what you have. I like to menu plan, but I don't menu plan so specifically that I don't have flexibility built in. And so this is what I'm using. Now I wish I had a smaller can. I will have to reserve some of this for a different dish because this is way too much. Let me use about half this can, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix this in. Let me show you what I got going. Oh my gosh, it already smells so good. And then we're gonna add in some seasonings. I'm gonna add in some dried oregano. Actually, I have fresh oregano growing outside. I really should have grabbed some of that. And I'm gonna add in a little bit of cumin. I find cumin to be a fairly strong seasoning, so I'm just gonna use a little bit. I was gonna go ahead and add a can of these diced jalapenos, but I accidentally bought the hot ones, so I'm gonna reserve this, figure out something that I can use for just myself with this can, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave out the chilies. But if you've got a can of, if you want it spicy, add this, or if you want some mild chilies in here, I think it would be a really good addition. But if I put these in here, my family would balk. Next up, and optional, is some baby spinach. These are actually some pretty big leaves, so I'm gonna give them a rough chop. Okay, so I just kind of gave them a rough chop just so that even when they wilt down, I just don't want huge pieces. Don't forget, spinach wilts down like crazy. So even this giant mound here is gonna cook down to nothing in just a few minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this stirred in. Another great vegetable at the beginning when you were sauteing your onions, if you wanted a different vegetable that would also work with the low carb portion of this dinner, would be to chop up some zucchini and add that in. But we're just gonna stick with spinach today. Then I'm gonna pull out some of this to put in my husband's bell pepper, and then I'm gonna add some more corn and beans to ours. Okay, so this is looking really nice and creamy. I'm gonna give it a quick taste test, and then we'll put it in husband's bell pepper. It's so good. I thought I might have to add more salt, but I don't. It's really great. So I'm gonna pull out the bell peppers, started roasting, and we will fill up 2 of them. Ooh, this is hot. Oh, with some of my chicken sauce. Ooh, looking good. So I'm gonna just set these on the stove. Ouch, hot, hot, hot. Okay. So I drained a can of black beans. So I'm gonna add about half of that. I gotta make something else Mexican this week since I've got some enchilada sauce and now some black beans to use up. Some frozen corn. And basically we're just gonna let this cook to warm the beans through and cook the corn. If I wasn't trying to do a low carb version also, I would have sauteed the corn at the beginning with the onions to give the corn a chance to kind of caramelize too. So I'm sacrificing a smidgen of potential flavor for a whole lot of love. And I also didn't want to do it in a separate skillet and get another skillet dirty. So, love's about compromise, right? Okay, put this back up, let that, well actually, it doesn't even have to heat all the way through because we're gonna put it back in the oven. Think ahead, Amanda. Okay, now I'm just going to stuff the other bell peppers We will garnish them with some Monterey Jack cheese. This package does not want to open. Okay. Top them a little bit with some Monterey Jack cheese. Another fun garnish would be some black olives, but I'm not gonna pull out a can of black olives today. And we'll pop these in the oven for about 10 minutes. I got it at 425. It's pretty hot, so I just want to get the cheese browned and the bell peppers cooked a little bit longer. Here they are out of the oven. They are so hot. They're making sizzling noises. But oh my gosh, they look so absolutely delicious. Let's get them plated up. All right, here we go. Plated up. I'm gonna start with one for now, but I'll probably be eating 2 of these. That's really good. I didn't get much chicken in that one. It was mostly bell pepper, but it was still good. The bell pepper has a good flavor to it. Let's get some with some the stuffing in. Okay guys, this tastes like a yummy chicken enchilada. Just a little different, you know, a twist. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure that if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, and that way you'll see more of my cooking content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.